Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 21 of the SMB Talks. This month, SMB Talks, we are gonna take a different route altogether. So this month, we will be celebrating female entrepreneurs and leaders across the globe. So last week, I couldn't come live because I was shifting my house and stuff like that. So 4 weeks, we have 4 weeks, we have four fantastic inspiring female entrepreneurs slash leaders coming on the show. So I'm super excited about this month because I know all of them uh, via various social networks for a long time. I follow their work. They all are doing fantastic work, and I want to see how they do all these things they do. Right? They have multiple responsibilities and stuff like that, but they are doing fantastic professionally as well. So a lot of lessons for all of us. Today, I have a very good friend of mine. She is a phenomenal person, and the work she does with her venture, I have been following since my days in Bangalore. You know, it's very interesting concept and all that. So today I have Pooja Rai with me. She is the founder and CEO of Anthill Creations. So if you ask me what is Anthill Creations, it's a not-for-profit organization incubated by NSRCEL IIM Bangalore. So what they do is they aim to make play accessible for kids by building sustainable playscapes. So that's what I said. It's very exciting work they do. Very interesting, very different and innovative. So we will hear all about it from her. Anthill has already impacted over 1,20,000 children across 18 states in India. What a fantastic work they're doing. That's an example of that. She has authored a book on women entrepreneurs called The Road Not Taken. She's an alumni of IIT Kharagpur. She's a TEDx speaker, Ashoka Changemaker, and she was even awarded by Nobel Laureate Professor Yunus. So, such an exciting personality coming on the show. So, let's bring her on and listen to her now. Hey,
Hi,
Pooja.
Vivek.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out for SMB Talks and coming here. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. So happy to be on the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks. So, how is the situation in Bangalore?
I mean, the cases are rising, but we are back to work.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So, just to give a brief background about the show, Pooja, I started it when coronavirus kicked in. So
Mhm.
it was around May I started the show. And the purpose was, every since all of us are going through several kinds of challenges at the moment, I wanted to bring people like you, who has an inspiring story behind them via their work or maybe their expertise, things like that. So I have had a lot of guests who have come in and shared their story, so that people, everybody can take a leaf out of your journey and get inspired and get moving through this tough times. So once again, thank you so much for having. So what I've done is I've done some research on Anthill, Pooja, and a lot of things, and I have curated a set of questions for you, and I will shoot it one at a time, and you can take it as it comes. Cool.
Yes, let's get
All
started.
right. Fantastic. So first thing, when I was reading about you, you have done your architecture from IIT, and now you are a social entrepreneur, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
So how did that journey, architecture on one side and social entrepreneurship is totally different, field to be in. So how did that journey happen?
It's been a very, I would say, a crazy journey, and more for my parents than me. I would say for them to understand what is happening and what is she doing with her career. So I
Right,
took up architecture when I was going for graduation. Not sure, not very clear on what to do with life, and
right,
it seemed interesting. And in 2 years' time, I realized that this is not what my calling is. And
right,
it was a very difficult situation, right? Like, you know what not to do, but what do you want to do, right? Like, to be
right,
exploring
right.
what you want to do. So I would say 5 years in college, I've explored a lot. I ended up writing this book. I did a lot of internships. And
Wow.
I've always been a believer that you learn things by doing. you don't understand your interest just by making a short list, list of things and shortlisting things. I feel let's try out things and we will know, right?
Very
So
nice.
that's what happened. I was actually social entrepreneurship, or this startup happened to me by not in a very planned way, but something that was very core to me.
Right.
In my final year of college, I got placed as a product manager, and that's what I was doing for a year. But we had
Right.
built this playground back in college, and at that point in time, it didn't seem like such a big problem. But over the next 1 year, with after building our first playgrounds made with tires and drums, we received hundreds of requests from all over the country, which made me realize, the magnitude of this problem. The fact that we don't even, as a society, understand how important play is for children, and that
Absolutely.
problem, I wanted to solve this problem. And after a year, quit my job, took this venture full time, and it's been an amazing journey since then.
Fantastic. So, which was the year you started this?
I took this full time in 2017.
Very nice. 3 years. Fantastic. Such a long. Because when I was doing some research on Anthill, I thought it's been running around for at least 10 years. The kind of work you guys have already
So
accomplished.
it's been 6 years since we built our first playground, and
Right.
it's been like great learning from building our first playground, which took 3 months, to now building 30 playgrounds in a month. We've
Very
definitely
nice.
come a long way.
I know, I know. I've seen some of your projects in Karnataka when I was in Bangalore. That's how I got connected with you first time on LinkedIn because it was so interesting concept for me. Because normal people will not think about these things, playground with recyclable materials and things like that. Very nice. So for people who don't know Anthill, if you can explain it to them, what is Anthill Creations and what is the kind of work you guys do?
Sure. So the vision of our organization is to make sure that every child gets to play. It's very simple, right? Like giving access and affordability to children. And that's how it started as well, right? Like we saw that these children were playing with those broken cement pipes, using slippers to play badminton. And we just felt, is playground a luxury? Doesn't every single child deserve a happy childhood? And I personally, like, all the research papers says, and I also personally believe that play is so powerful in bringing children together, in making them learn 21st century skills, which you may not necessarily learn in a classroom setting or with very academic cognitive curriculum. So we need all round development, right? Especially in today's times. And how we spend our time as children defines what kind of adults we become, right? Like there's so much
Right.
learning that happens in childhood which stays with us over years. So that's what we're trying to do. Being architects, I knew we thought, spaces are so powerful, and we ended up building playgrounds. We built close to 270 playgrounds now, made out of
Wow.
recycled material like tires, drums, cable drums, bamboo. We're also exploring plastic waste now. And the idea is, if you can give something or create something valuable like playgrounds by upcycling material, why not? Right? A lot of people ask me, why do you upcycle material? And my obvious answer is, why not, right? There's so much waste that we're creating, and if all of us start doing that in almost all initiatives, we should definitely do it.
Right, right. Yeah, who would have thought, right? From tire, from drums, all these things you can build a playground which kids can have so much fun. Because I remember in my childhood days, I'm pretty old. So in my childhood, we used to have this cycle tire and we used to beat it and run around. So fantastic, amazing actually. How many playgrounds you have already built?
We've built close to 270 playgrounds now.
This is across 18 states.
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, guys, if you want to know more about Anthill and their fantastic how the playground looks, and they have a lot of images and etc. on anthillcreations.org. That is ANTHILL creations.org. Go check it out, and fantastic work these guys are doing. All right. So that was about what it is all about. So now I want to talk about the impact which you guys have created already. So, if you can speak a little bit about the impact which you guys could do over the last 6 years.
Right. So from the very beginning, we started, taking feedback from the users. We believe that any solution can be perfected if you're close to user, if you understand your beneficiaries very well.
Right.
So even not after building the playgrounds, but even before that process starts, we spend some time with children. So typically in a playground, you would see a slide, swing, and a seesaw.
Right.
We find these games with children. We ask them, what is your favorite playground? What is the best playground that you can imagine? And trust me, children are very creative, very
Right. Right.
innovative. So that's how we operate, and then we build the playground with the community, and post that, like, we do associate with them for maintenance for almost a year till the entire handover of the playground happens to the community. So this entire process is creating, not just bringing play to children, which definitely helps them in their development. The
Right.
playtime of children has increased. We've seen attendance in schools going up. Children who were reluctant to go to schools are now looking forward, because teachers were telling that they come early to school, they stay back after this. So
Right.
that place is not just where you come and have classes, but it's a place where you meet your friends, where you enjoy, where you're looking forward to going. So that
Right.
is
Right.
something that we have seen at a very, I would say, surface level, something that you can clearly see with your eyes. We've
Right.
also got feedback from teachers how children who never spoke in class all of a sudden became very comfortable with other children, because in a very
Wow.
academic classroom chair setting, they might be a little reluctant in opening up, but when you are in a playground, you're playing, you're having fun, you're being yourself. So a lot of those things happen, stories we get to hear. We've also seen children coming to teachers and saying that this is the 3R concept you taught in class. So what they've been taught in theory, they're seeing it right in front of their eyes, and that inspires them. They go back home and they use plastic bottles to make planters and creative things. So I think
Wow.
that's the impact that it's doing on children, but there's a larger impact that's happening on communities as well.
Right.
So one of the first few playgrounds we built, I remember one of the headmasters came to us and said, "Don't build a playground here; it's going to distract my children." And I
Right.
found that really disturbing, right? Like how we feel that play is trivial and a waste of time.
Right.
Whereas on a very core level, it does help us in the development. And after we built the playground, in a month's time, the headmaster was so grateful. His mindset had changed. There were more people coming and requesting for a playground. So as a community, I think we're becoming more aware of the importance of play. When the community comes and builds the playgrounds with us, there is such high ownership. It's not just playground infrastructure that they see; it's a community space.
Right.
It's something that they've built together, and brings that sense of belongingness amongst people.
Right. 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 So it's amazing actually because so what kind of schools or what are the areas which you focus on, if I may ask?
Sure. So largely we build these playgrounds in government schools.
Yeah.
One, because you'll find most children there, and that is where the need is most.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but we also look at transforming cities and making the entire city child friendly. In especially in metro cities, you see there are so many dead spaces which can be transformed into community spaces. Nowadays, if you have to go out, you just go to malls or restaurants. But we need more
Right.
open spaces. We need a place where children can play and parents can also have a good time. So that is,
Right.
now we're picking up lake sites in Bangalore, and also working with the government to clean up the dump yards and transform them into community spaces and playgrounds. We've
Very
done a
nice.
similar project with the Bhubaneswar Development Authority, where Bhubaneswar is becoming a child-friendly city, and playground is one major part of doing that.
Right. Right. And I've seen pictures. Your playgrounds look very nice also. It's very colorful and very
Very
vibrant.
inviting.
I know, I know. So actually, imagine in Bangalore. I think these kind of playgrounds are much needed there. That's very nice. And on a lighter note, since students are going back, you should plan some playgrounds in engineering colleges also. All right, all right. That's very nice. Actually, I'm so impressed by the kind of work you guys are doing. All right. So all this is possible because you guys have a very young founding member team, right? I saw your team, a lot of youngsters coming together. Can you share some light on the people involved and their contribution?
Sure. So, I mean, Anthill was started by a bunch of friends when we were in college. It wasn't a
Right.
project, it wasn't an assignment. It was just something we wanted to do before leaving the college. And there was no sort of like nobody giving responsibility to anyone. It happened very naturally. And because the motivation was so high. And
Right.
even when I took this venture full time, that is sort of culture we've kept in the organization. One is because we were very early stage, we couldn't afford very senior people in the
Right.
organization. A lot of people told me that it's very difficult to work with freshers, but trust me, the kind of learning I've seen my team had over the past 2 3 years, it's amazing, right? Like I feel we need people who have a strong willpower, and
Right.
skills and how to do things is something that we all can figure out. So that's what I've seen in my organization. Like every single person is highly motivated, very early. Like, like we have like 23, 24-year-olds, and they say we found our purpose in life. We always want to work with children. Like, uh,
That's good.
and it's it's amazing, right? Like we don't have to create a very I mean, now that we are scaling up, we are bringing processes and structure in the organization. But I think what we don't want to lose is, in a sense, is the culture in the organization, is this like self-motivation, ownership that every single person shows. And
Right.
obviously the high enthusiasm that is there in everyone.
Right, right, right. All right. So, moving on, I want to talk about some kind of, you guys have received a lot of, you as well as Anthill has received a lot of accolades on the way. So, if you can share some of those proud moments with us, that would be fantastic.
So we've got great opportunities. One of the things that helped us very early on was this incubation at IIM Bangalore. And obviously, like we are young founders, and I felt we were very fortunate to get into this incubation because I had never worked in a scaled organization, and here I was trying to scale an organization. And obviously, right, like doing mistakes and learning is good, but if you can avoid those mistakes, you can move faster. So
Right,
that's where the mentors played a role. We were very lucky to have some very amazing mentors who would not tell us what to do, but they would ask us the right questions. Even the decision to register as a non-profit versus a for-profit, right? Like they made us question what is it that you want to achieve. And
right,
similarly, whenever we had to take some difficult decisions in an organization, our mentors were always there to guide us, to just be like a guiding sort of like just to brainstorm. They're always there. So that really helped us. And I don't know if that would come as accolades, but I think it really helped us as an
right,
organization to grow. One of the
right.
things I'm all very, very sort of happy, proud, and something very special to me is I think the Young Alumni Award that my alma mater, Kharagpur, gave me. Because you may go anywhere in the world, I think being recognized by your institution is something which is very, very special. Um,
Absolutely.
and it wasn't so important to me, I feel, but it was like I saw like my parents were really, I mean, they're not really happy when I took this venture full time. So I could see like, yeah, maybe they're like a little proud and they're like, "ठीक है, कुछ तो ढंग का she's doing."
All right. Right.
Yeah,
So that happened in which year?
this was 2018.
Right, right, fantastic. I know that you have got lot more awards and recognition. Also, I have done my research, but let's move on now. All right. So I know that the kind of work you guys are doing. It is not an easy journey at all. So since we spoke about the accolades, I would love to know some of the challenges you guys have faced along this journey.
So I think one of the biggest challenge we've been facing right from the beginning is, making people understand this is an important cause. A lot of people come to me and say, "Pooja, you're so talented. Why don't you work in education?" And I find it very disturbing. Like, play is not different from education. Play is learning in itself. So that mindset that people have is, I think, what is a bigger challenge for us to solve. I mean, we are building playgrounds. We'll build thousands of playgrounds, but the problem we're trying to solve will only get solved when people's mindset gets changed. And
Right.
I think that is what I have seen changing over the past 4 years. When people see playgrounds right in front of their eyes and we can see the impact in front of them, um, I don't have to tell them any answers; they see it, right? Like so
Right.
that's one of the challenges we've been facing from the very beginning. Obviously, similarly, comes from that is also there is less funding available for this. We don't fit into sports, we don't fit into education. So, like you have to align yourself as to what where you will get the funding from.
Right.
Since we work with most of the government schools, we've been able to work with a lot of education organizations as well. Um, yeah, I think the second challenge we've faced is being a very young team, uh, getting the right people in the team. You know, like you said, we have a very young team and we're very agile. We move very fast, but it's always nice to have few experienced people and the right mix in the organization. So that is something that we have not been able to achieve and would want to have in the future as we scale up and uh, yeah.
Right, right. Fantastic, fantastic. You guys have crossed across all these challenges because for the first one, which you mentioned, the shift in mindset required is that's the biggest challenge any organization can face. Changing mindset of people is the toughest thing anybody have to do. All right. So one other interesting thing which I came across recently from you is during this pandemic, you guys have launched Play in a Box and Mission 10K. So I would love to know more about it. So if you can tell us what is Play in a Box and what is Mission 10K.
So when COVID-19 happened and schools were closed because of lockdown, we we're very close to the communities that we worked with, and they reached out to us for help. And we did COVID relief, provided them groceries for close to 2 months, did some crowdfunding campaign to support that. And while we were doing that, we also saw that children were stuck at home. Uh,
Right.
they had no idea when schools will reopen, and we continued to build playgrounds, but nobody was coming to playgrounds. I
Right.
mean, they will come back after a year, but we are an organization to which exists to create impact, not to build infrastructure. And
Right.
that's when we came back, went back to our drawing boards and questioned ourselves, went back to the core vision of bringing play to children. And we felt if children can't come out to play, let's take play to them. And
Wow.
we've always been a strong believer of active play, outdoor play. But I feel necessity is what also brings innovation. We came up with these indoor games, but we did not limit them to just building blocks. We have games which cater to all-round development of children, be it physical development, social emotional skills, team building, gross motor skills. So we have games, creative expression, and we have games catering to each of these development areas for children. And we've put them together in a box, and we're giving it out to children from government schools, slum communities who do not have digital devices,
Right.
whose only way to learn was through schools, and now schools are closed. Parents might not have enough time, or they might not give children as much attention to continue their learning. And we've just forgotten, I think, children in that age group. So we have to make sure that their curiosity stays alive. They are excited to come back to school next year when we open. It's a tough
Yeah.
time for all of us, and children probably are not able to express what they're going through, but they are not designed to be inside houses, like
Right.
they have so much energy in them.
Right. Right.
And we've got amazing response. We've already distributed first 2,000 boxes. We got support from companies like Salesforce, Intuit, and a couple of more who've promised. So we will be able to, I feel, reach 10,000 children with our campaign Mission 10K. Already, I think more than 400 people who have supported us on the campaign as well. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Right. So it's only Karnataka you're focusing on. Is it shipped to other places also?
No, we've already sort of designed these in 5 regional languages. So we've We have bilingual cards. We wanted to make sure right from the I think something that's very core to our organization is also the scale, and we think it from day one. There's something like you make a product and then you try to scale it, but when you design for scale, you design it accordingly. So we have already shipped it in multiple areas: Odisha, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and we are getting requests from other places as well. So it's not limited just to Karnataka, but obviously that's where our team is, and
Right.
most of the communities we've worked with is here.
Right, right. So I saw a video of yours where kids are opening these boxes and talking in Kannada that how exciting this box is. I've seen some startups with these kind of boxes, but this is an innovative concept, right? I'm pretty sure those kids, their playgrounds will be an escape place for them, given the conditions they live in. So
Yeah.
this is a very nice concept. So I have a follow-up question on this. So how can individuals like me or anybody in this matter be part of your mission, and how we can help your concepts like play in a box or mission 10K, all these initiatives? How can people be a part of this?
Sure. So basically, we don't try to sort of protect our product and say that this is our product, right? Like, this is our product. This is for you, and if you want to give it out to as many children as you want,
Right,
we're happy to sort of share like how we've designed, help you design playgrounds as well.
right,
Currently, we're running this campaign called as Mission 10K on Milap, where we're trying to raise 30 lakhs to support the children that we have identified who need it. So you can become you can become a part of Anthill. You can join us as a ambassador. Identify a community which you think will benefit from a product like this. Uh,
right,
Help us raise funds, and we can work with you to help those children receive these products as well.
right,
Apart from that, I think we have had people join us. We don't have a very structured volunteer program as such. We don't even use the term volunteer. You want to be a part of Anthill, whatever time you have over the weekend, whenever you have, you can give your time. You can spread the word about the work that we do. And I think more ideas have come from people who want to like help. So happy to explore, talk whenever people have time.
right. So is it possible for people to contribute, as in donate also to Antwerp?
Yes. So we have this campaign running on Melab, bringing play home, which
Okay.
people can come contribute and also share with more people.
Got it. Cool. All right. So Milap is the place to go for that. All right. All right. So now let's talk about Pooja a little bit. Okay. Now enough of Anthill. Now let's focus on Pooja. That's what this month is all about, right? So we wanna know what drives people like you and how you do all these things. Okay. So it's all tough work, you know, being in a male-dominated society, standing up for yourself and doing these kind of work. It takes a lot of courage, grit, and determination. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is, because I'm an avid reader, is about your book. So the road note taken, so what that is all about?
So, I mean, I wrote this book when I was in my third year of college.
Wow.
And I was talking to a professor in IIM Bangalore about my interests, about what kind of research I want to do with him. And we ended up, talking about my interest in entrepreneurship, on grassroots innovators. So he suggested, why don't you write a book, cover the stories of these amazing women entrepreneurs who have come up with solutions and scale them. So as a college kid, I was just so excited to talk to these entrepreneurs, and I am not a, I wouldn't call myself a very great writer. The part that excited me was meeting these entrepreneurs, and it was amazing.
Right,
And the purpose of writing that book was that these are people who started with nothing, and they are people just like you and me. And to make people, the purpose of the book was to inspire people and give them a reality check that this is possible for you as well. I don't know if the book inspired anyone, but it definitely inspired me. It made
right,
me believe that, Willpower is something that can make you do amazing things. Skills are something that you can learn on the way how to do it. So yeah, that was, I think, my first sort of motivation, and I got clarity that yes, this is what I want to do.
Right. So
Yeah.
how many entrepreneurs did you interview for the book?
So I interviewed 9 entrepreneurs. Yes,
Very nice. All Indian entrepreneurs or
yes,
mix?
all Indian entrepreneurs.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'll try to get a copy of the book and read it. All right. So you lead an organization which is doing a very different kind of work, right? So we had CEO of Milan Foundation on the show, and he literally gave me goosebumps with the work they do, right? So
Mhm.
similarly, your work is also along those lines. So what drives you as a female leader in the social entrepreneurship arena?
Um, Actually, I never think of like this, that whether I'm a female entrepreneur or a male entrepreneur, right? Like when you start
Right,
out something, you just see a problem that you want to solve, and just do whatever it takes to solve that problem. Uh,
right,
and something that I found inspiring in the entrepreneurs that I interviewed for books also, right? Like this is something that I used to ask them. Like, what are the
right,
challenges you faced? And I remember all of them saying that, yeah, like family wasn't agreeing, but we convinced them. This problem was
right.
there, but we solved it. So I think when your vision is towards that goal, the obstacles just become like a small sort of like a distraction which you can just solve and move forward. So that I think I have experienced a similar thing. Uh, I a lot of times I didn't even realize that I was being stereotyped being a female. I my eyes were somewhere else to,
Right, right.
like, you pick your battles. I know I can't change, and I'm not a person who tries to sort of like um, tell you things by telling things. I'm like, "Ki, let's do it through actions, right? Like I will make Anthill successful, and I think that will prove that how a women-led organization can create scalable impact as well. So that's what I believe in.
Amazing, amazing. See, straight away attacking the problem you need to solve. Forget about everything else. That's pretty practical and actionable. All right. So my next question is, if you are a pretty successful entrepreneur, so what is your advice to other budding or existing female entrepreneurs?
I think I have two advices which I followed and have worked for me also. One is don't wait too long to start. I think we contemplate a lot, and when we get into that cycle, you will never have 100% surety whether this will become successful or not. So you have to
Right.
take that plunge and just jump. I think that is where most of us back off, and why
That's right.
we have only few entrepreneurs and not everybody. So that's my first advice. Don't think about family or society or friends, right? Like think of what gives you the motivation, and if you are in like if you are yourself motivated and passionate about it. Like I remember I used to feel very selfish that I'm not listening to my family and I'm doing this, but today I think they are proud of me, and we are doing okay. So that's my first advice. Second would be, I think, once you get started, don't give up. It won't be an easy path. There will be a lot of obstacles, something that you wouldn't have imagined. But if you have that strong will, just, like a grit and resilience to get up every time you fall, I think you will not fail.
Very nice, man. So start early and never give up. If I have to sum that up, that's very nice. Such a a lot of people talk about it, but you practice that. So that's very interesting. All right. So I want to know one question again about Anthill. Uh, Pooja, you there? Can you hear me?
I'm, yes, I
Okay.
can hear you. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Yes, you can ask your question.
Yeah. So my question is, what are the future plans of Anthill Creations? What lies ahead for the organization?
Um, so I think uh, what we said in the beginning, right? Like we want to solve this problem that we have picked up, and we will not stop till we have provided play to every single child. And we want to not just build playgrounds in government schools, but reach a stage where all of us understand as parents, as teachers, that play is important for children. And going forward, we want to, I mean, we can build 1,000, 10,000 playgrounds, but that is not the only thing which will solve the problem. We
Right.
want to create enablers in the society. And like I said, our designs are open source. We're working with, when people reach out to us that they want to build playgrounds with us, we try to help them virtually as well. So that's where we want to reach, where we have thousands of champions who wants to build playgrounds in their own villages, in their own countries, and we become, with our learning of past 5-6 years, we help them in being able to achieve that.
Right, right. Fantastic. Playground for every kid in the country. That's like a very big, ambitious goal. I'm pretty sure you guys will achieve that. Right. So we have come to the end of the session. So my last question, which I ask every guest who comes on the show, is how has COVID-19 impacted Pooja and how has it impacted Anthill?
So, good and bad ways. I would say I'm a very extrovert people person. It was very hard for me to stay indoors.
Right.
But more than that, when I saw how it was affecting migrant laborers and how it was affecting rest of the world, I just felt that my problems are nothing in front of them. And
True.
when these problems happen, we couldn't say that no, we are an organization who does play and we cannot help you, right? Like when you see a problem in front of your eyes, you help the community that you have worked with. So
Right.
we did that. I think that was a good realization that you have to be focused on your goal, but you also have to see where you can add value, whom you can
Right.
help. For us as a team, I think everybody says that work from home has, for some people it is increasing productivity. For some people it is, uh, you know, uh, very difficult. For our team also, I think we've gone through a similar cycle. But
Right.
we went through some tough times. There was a time when I felt, okay, this is how Anthill will end, right? Like our work has stopped at all. But the team was together and we all took pay cuts. And how we figured out just to move forward, and post that we are now working on 2 products. So we've come out of that crisis because our focus was that let's keep the user at the center of, let's keep the child at the center of what we want to do. And uh, yeah, it's been it's been a journey, I would say. I've got more rejections in these last 6 months than I have in the last 3 years. But that also means we've reached out and we've done more stuff.
Right.
So,
Right.
I think just a lot more resilience, a lot more trust in the team has come with this entire episode.
Right, very nice. I'm happy that at least you guys are doing well, not that bad, and I'm pretty sure something great will come out of this. Thank you so much for joining me today, Pooja, and it was fantastic listening to you. People. I love listening to people like you because it's a very different kind of situation right now. So when I see people like you doing these kind of work, I am inspired to do more. I pass on because my show is followed by a lot of youngsters. So this is a message for them. They can also do wonderful things if they have the grit.
Absolutely.
They can go in the right direction. So thank you so much for your time. I want you to stay safe and we stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Vivek, for having me.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. All right, that was Pooja Rai from Anthill Creations. Guys, it's a fantastic thing, okay? As a human being, when you live in a community, it's our moral responsibility to contribute to the community, right? So there are multiple ways to do it, right? Bringing a smile on somebody's face is the easiest thing to do. So check out anthillcreations.org. Try to join their cause by contributing via the Milab campaign, etc., etc. So this month is going to be an exciting month. One episode done. We have 3 more guests coming in. one top CEO from a top SaaS company in the US, one leader who is the happiest person I have ever met in my life, and a lot of exciting things. Another female entrepreneur who wants to impact 1 billion women across the world. So stay tuned. Come back next week. I'll see you all soon. Stay safe. Thank you.